Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to yield to another gentleman from the South, the great state of Georgia, Mr. Clyde.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Johnson. I really appreciate your leadership and willingness to highlight the issues facing our country, including the very serious issue of the possible confirmation of an unqualified person, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, to the U.S. Supreme Court. President Biden's Supreme Court nominee, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, commonly known as KBJ, is simply unfit to serve our nation's highest court. Throughout her legal career, Judge Jackson has garnered a disconcerting record of being soft on crime, as evidenced by her lenient sentencing, particularly for criminals convicted of egregious acts involving child sex torture. Judge Jackson simply is incapable of holding dangerous criminals accountable. Additionally, Judge KBJ has revealed her allegiance to the radical left by refusing to define what a woman is, excusing her extremism by claiming she isn't a biologist. There are indisputable differences between men and women, and those differences must be both acknowledged and accepted in order for KBJ to properly adjudicate Title IX cases. Judge Jackson also recently declined to recognize Americans' natural rights, the precious rights granted to us by God, failing to accept the basic principle that individuals possess unalienable rights, a principle that is the very foundation of our American values, is supremely disqualifying for any individual seeking to serve our nation's highest court. Yet, despite Judge Jackson's frightening record and recent disqualifying revelations, the Senate intends to vote to potentially confirm her to the Supreme Court this week. And while it is true that Judge Jackson's confirmation will not immediately alter the makeup of the court, it is naive and cowardly to make excuses when the stakes are this high. Our country, our liberties, and the makeup of the Supreme Court are on the line. If Judge Jackson becomes a Supreme Court justice, she will serve for decades, solidifying and strengthening the left's menacing grip on our rule of law. Her decisions will impact future Americans for generations to come, setting precedent that will ultimately guide our great nation once many of us in these chambers are long gone. This is exactly why Judge Jackson's confirmation is much larger than just one vote. It is about preserving justice, protecting our freedoms, and defending our Constitution. I urge every solitary senator to contemplate their vote and the significant weight that it carries for our future, and I encourage them to vote no on this confirmation. Without question, Americans from Maine to Utah to Alaska, from sea to shining sea, are watching intently, praying their senators' vote will represent our nation's constitutional principles rather than appeasement to the left. America is watching. Will our senators defend America by voting no, or will they shrink back? We will not forget. Thank you, and I yield back.
Thank you for highlighting that, my friend. It is a serious issue. The longest-lasting legacy of any president is who they put on those federal courts. And of course, the most important is the highest court in the land. We cannot overstate how important this is.